Character change is another really important element of a story. So we've talked about character setting, plot, and conflict. We're going to go ahead now and add this idea to our chart. And what we're going to invite you to do is in the next coming days, as we continue to read Elephant in the Garden, we know that Lizzie is already doing some changing. She's definitely different than she was at the beginning of the story. And we're going to invite you, as you're listening to the last few chapters of the book, to start noticing in what other ways do you see Lizzie change. And then we're also going to invite you to think about what other characters do you see also changing from when we first met them. And then maybe even pay attention to the characters that are remaining the same. Which characters haven't changed at all? Because that's equally important. As you go into your IDR time, which we're going to ask you to do next, you're going to grab your book. I'm going to ask you to grab some sticky notes if you have them. If you're at home and you don't have any, then just grab a piece of paper and a pencil. And since we're paying attention to characters that change in our book that we're reading together, we're going to ask you to pay attention to where you're noticing your character change in your IDR book. So as you're reading for 30 minutes today and continuing to read for the rest of the week, you might think about and kind of do, we call it beard scratching in my class. Sorry if you're not in my class and you're watching this, but go ahead and kind of like scratch your beard and think about how would you have described your character at the beginning of your story versus how they are now, and maybe what's different about that. You might think about the problem that the character is facing in the story and how that problem is maybe forcing your character to change or the effect that it's having on your character. And maybe even do some thinking about, is there what we would call like an aha moment when the main character realizes something or figures something out, and that changes how they react to the plot and what's going on in the story. So either with your sticky notes or with your sheet of paper and pencils, start marking places in the text or keeping track of where you notice your character may be doing some changing or doing something different than what you would have expected your character to do before. Be prepared to talk about that or share that with a partner or share it with me through a journal in the upcoming days. So go ahead and set a timer, 30 minutes, grab your paper, and enjoy some reading.